Here we are on the front campus of Wheaton College. I attended Wheaton College from 1974 in the fall through 1978 spring when I graduated with a BA degree in economics. Some people have said it should have been a BS degree. Probably right. So Wheaton College, old school. It has so many more amenities. They've got indoor plumbing now and air conditioning and a lot more amenities for their students. It's a strong school, had a good education, been blessed by that opportunity my whole life. Have gone on in my life to think for myself, which is what I was encouraged to do here as well, so I'm grateful. And it's a beautiful day. So here we are, Wheaton College, front campus. Hi, this is Jim, and I'm standing on the front lawn of Fisher Dorm on the Wheaton College campus here in Wheaton, Illinois. So that's a lot of Wheatons. And I attended Wheaton College starting in the fall of 1974 and was moved into the top floor of this dorm along with some really wonderful guys. The dorm is a U-shaped dorm. It had women on one side and men on the other. There's kind of an inner courtyard that separated us, which was probably wise. At that time, there weren't these trees on the front lawn. It was just a big grassy area. And we'd come and go. It's on the edge of the campus, and we'd come and go to our classes. I moved in with my friend Eric, and I didn't know anybody else on the floor until time went on, and we all became fast friends and partners in crime. When I say crime, maybe I'm exaggerating, but we did find ways to drop water balloons out windows onto unsuspecting people. Okay, I want to show you a speed bump that lives in my memory. This speed bump was a scene of an adventure. One day, my friend Jim had his Formula 400 Firebird. It was probably a 72, and it was a manual stick, very powerful car for the era. And we came along to see lovely freshman women sunbathing. Nice sunny day, eased over the speed bump, and we were sitting right about here. I'm in the passenger seat, and we were chatting, had a nice chat. I think most of the women came to see my friend Jim, but I was along for the ride, literally. And when it came time to go, Jim said to me, in my memory, watch this. Rev the car up, brrr, pop the clutch. He'd left it in reverse. We went, ba-boom! And all the rubber dust came into the car. So we're in a haze of blue smoke. Beat red, put it in first, and off we went. I'll never forget it. It says gymnasium, and I'm Jim, but actually this is where I had art classes. It took me a while, but I discovered that at Wheaton College, if you wanted to share classes with cute girls, take an art class. And I took a lot of art classes, even though I was an economics major. So I took art classes in the gymnasium. What does it mean? Hi there. Jim again. I'm standing on the front lawn of Traber Dorm here on Wheaton College campus, Wheaton, Illinois. I want to tell you that in the fall of 1975 through the fall of 1976, I lived in this dorm. I lived up on the 7th floor, the top floor. Jay Barnes was the dorm director while I was here. I think he was studying for his master's, and he was the best. Jay is now the president of Bethel University. Here at Traber Dorm with my friends, we were obviously lovely young men towing the line, etc. We did have a water balloon slingshot made out of chem hose, and not being a chem major, I know nothing about its origin, but I know how we used it. Took 6 young men, and we could launch water balloons off the roof, over the trees, and onto the freshman front lawn campus over at Fisher Dorm. And the trick was to only launch a couple, 3 at a time. That was it. Nobody ever figured it out. How did we get to the roof? Well, it could be that somebody had keys to the top floor, but I'll never say. Traber was a great place to live. Great friends, great times. Got some old pictures that I see once in a while. And I'm grateful for the time here, and I'm grateful for Jay Barnes' management of this place, because he didn't get in the way of our fun and treated us like responsible human beings. This is Jim, and I'm back behind Traber Dorm. This is the back side. I have a story for you. So once upon a time, I had a friend named Peter, and he had a Chevy Vega. It was a red Vega, It was borrowed by so many people for dates it became known as the Passion Pit. I never went on a date in the car, I had nothing to do with it. But Peter was packing up to go home for a vacation. He was parked over on this side, and I was up on the 7th floor, and I snuck into his room with bottle rockets. Back in those days, the windows opened like this. They were jealousy windows. And so I opened the windows, must have been winter, opened the windows, and there was already a preformed hole in the screen, just the size of a bottle rocket. So I took the bottle rocket and I put it in the screen and I lit the bottle rocket fuse, and I'm aiming it because I want it to go right down at the Vega while he's packing. And the fuse goes, and then the bottle rocket goes, bang! I forgot to let go. Blew up in my face. Blew up inside the window. Didn't hurt anything. Powder burns maybe. And people heard it and people were running around. I'm in this room. I dove under the bed and I stayed under the bed for about 15 minutes while people looked for whoever shot off the bottle rocket in the room. Is this a confession? I don't know. Is it true? You decide. Hi, this is Jim on the Wheaton College campus, Wheaton, Illinois. Once again, telling tales. Whether they're true or not, I'm going to tell them. So behind me is Pierce Chapel. And if you can imagine, one day there were some students here that had painstakingly assembled the Coppertone Girl ad, the girl in the yellow bikini. We'd put it all, it had been put together, we'd weighed the bottom with rocks, rolled it like a scroll, climbed up the side of this building and put it on that top rest, like on the ledge. So after chapel, which is held across the street, people came out and we pulled a string, like over here, and the thing unrolled. So now there's the Coppertone Girl facing all these pious Baptists, you know. I don't know if they're Baptists, I'm not a Baptist, but you can be a Baptist and you can also appreciate the Coppertone Girl.
You can have a sense of humor.
Yeah. So that's my story about Pierce Chapel. That, and there was a concert of 50s and early 60s music that was a riot, held here one evening, and then later on we went out to Bob's Big Boy and almost got killed. But that's another story. I'll tell it later. Here at Wheaton College, there's the iconic Blanchard Hall named after its founder. And this is where the econ department with Robert Bartell was headquartered. And I had many classes here. There was a photo studio in the basement that just about gassed me with silver nitrate and other highly toxic chemistry. There were lecture auditoriums and lots of creaky floors and loose railings. And it's quite an amazing building, built a while ago. I don't know, was it built in the 1880s maybe? No, it was built, I think it was built in 1860. That's when it was built. Back again here at Edmund Chapel. Edmund Chapel is a beautiful auditorium. It's very formal, works well for a variety of things. One time Larry Norman was invited to play here while I was a student, and they didn't let his band into Edmund Chapel. That was disappointing. Now, I want to talk about the clock tower, because one time prior to Parents' Day, friends of mine, perhaps me, I'm not saying, made a Mickey Mouse face out of bed sheets that was just the size to cover all the numbers. And we painted it up. We got ourselves a staple gun. We might have had a key, we might not have had a key, I forget, the memory goes dim. We got up inside the tower. We might have rented bolt cutters. Maybe we just had them. We had to cut a padlock, so we bought a replacement padlock and left it, allegedly. And Peter Zuber and I climbed out with a small stepladder up on the top. It's not as much room as it looks from here. And we used a staple gun to apply the Mickey Mouse face all over the clock, and then we had two big red hands, like Mickey Mouse hands, for the clock arms. And we placed those on. It was about 4 in the morning when we were finished, maybe 4:30. Climbed down, went back home, got cleaned up, went to breakfast. We're going to admire our work on Parents' Day. They'd taken it down. It was only up for like an hour and a half. Oh, the indignity, the injustice, all that creative effort. It was successful, I guess, for maybe 3 people that saw it. We had fun. Hello, this is Jim again. I'm standing on College Avenue looking at the College Avenue apartments. We're right across from the College Avenue rail station. And in 1976, my friends and I took over a sublease of a sublease of a sublease, and 4 of us moved into the 2-bedroom top corner apartment at 1057. And we lived there together for a couple years. I actually stayed living there past my graduation while I worked at the Scandinavian Design Store in Yorktown. And we were all emerging adults. It was 1978 is when we graduated, and things weren't good then. It was high unemployment, high inflation. You took whatever job you could get, so it was a good place to live. And again, it was a sublease of a sublease of a sublease, so who could care, you know? I lost all my rock and roll t-shirts in the basement storage because it molded. And in our bathroom, if you can imagine 4 guys, 1 bathroom, lots of mold. We could have made cheese. We could have made money making cheese out of that bathroom and that bathtub. It didn't occur to us. What did we know? But we had a great time here, and the guys that I lived with were first class, first-rate citizens. I'm sure they still are. In fact, I know they are. But yeah, that's College Avenue Apartments. Back in the day, it was privately owned. Now the college owns it, and I'll bet the bathtubs are just as bad.